So, hello my Gunrunners, welcome back to AK Reacts. For the new people that have just joined us, I'm AK, an ex-conscript of Iran. I was in the branch of the law enforcement, usually working at an armory, doing guard duties, patrol duties, and any and all between. This video was recommended by a subscriber of the channel, Black Label, man, you're a legend. This video's title is America's 300 million Sci-Fi Arsenal, the Advanced Combat Rifle Program. Of course, we're joining Nick on the Fat Electrician's channel, and although this video was recommended, as soon as I saw the thumbnail, I knew I was gonna like it. For multiple reasons, by the way. First off, Wesley Snipes, big plus. I think it's his character from the movie Demolition Man, playing the role of the bad guy against Sylvester Stallone. It was a good movie. I actually liked that one a lot. But my most favorite one by Wesley Snipes has to be like the Blade series, especially the first one. My most favorite quotes of all movies ever. But somehow that's not what I liked about this one. The fact was that the weapon, I know what it is. It's the HNK G11. That weapon is just engraved in my memory. When this AK was a wee little boy, he used to play a lot of games. And one of the games that I used to play a lot, and I mean a lot, was the game Global Operations. Now, maybe only one or two people will actually know that game, but I love that game. I genuinely did. And the G11 was in that game. It was my first ever time seeing such a futuristic looking weapon, and it had very good ones, by the way. But as soon as I just saw the thumbnail, it was like a core memory just got unlocked, and I just know this is gonna be good. I had a soft spot for that game. Global Operations was just a favorite of mine. I used to play the hell out of it with like games like Serious Sam and all that. I know, I'm ancient, I know. Please do tell me in the comments if you actually recognize any of the names I actually said. I need it for my sanity, please. Someone must have heard from these. So a quick thing before we start the video, make sure to check the Fat Electrician's channel. I'm gonna put all the links you're gonna need down in the description right below. Make sure to sub, share, like, comment, everything, just to help the algorithm do its thing. And if you like this video, maybe do the same for me. I surely appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get started.
Pretty much every crazy gun from every sci-fi movie in the 1990s is actually real, and they all came from this program.
Alright.
Today we're talking about the Advanced Combat Rifle Program. Ladies and gentlemen, it all started out so innocent in 1986 when the US government came out and said, hey, our current service rifle is the M16. We're looking for something a little bit more accurate. And when we say a little, we mean like twice as accurate. We want 100% improvement in accuracy across the board. That's the only stat we care about. We don't care about anything else.
Go
just
for
build
accuracy.
the gun. But first, a word from our sponsor, because this video is brought to you by my favorite sporting goods store, Shields. They've got a bunch of really
Make sure
cool
to
retail
support them
locations
every
all across
way
the
you
United
can.
States, and an even better online store where you can get pretty much anything that has anything to do with going outside or being physically active. Or beef jerky. They have a bunch of beef jerky too. Anyways, if you use the link on my website or in the description down below, you're gonna get free shipping on your order. Let's get back to this video. Just build the gun. At this exact moment, every single firearms contractor on the planet zooms in and they're like, excuse me, I get full creative reign to do whatever I want as long as it's accurate. And the US government's like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's see what you guys can come up with. At which point, they freak out.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Okay, but then they reel it back in and they're like, hold on, calm down, it's okay. What's the budget on this program? To which the United States military is kind of like, yeah, well, you know, whatever, we'll pay for it in the end, just have fun.
Have fun?
Everybody calm down.
And at that exact moment, sanity, sobriety, common sense.
Let's be honest, telling that to the entire weapons manufacturers and the military industrial complex, it's gonna set a high bar, alright? They don't work with like standard limitations and all that. And they definitely don't work with like standard amounts of money. Let's keep going.
They all leave the chat because all of these weapon manufacturers have just went from we're going to build a new gun to we're going to build something to hunt aliens with. And not only that, they're going to try to make $1 bajillion while they do it because every weapons contractor gets the exact same idea. Not only are they going to build a gun, but they're going to recreate what a bullet is and then build a gun to fire this new type of bullet. That way they get to patent the gun and they get to patent the ammunition for it. So then the US government is on the hook to buy all the ammunition from this one sole provider.
Yeah.
Just straight up, Jimmy, grab the wheel, throw it away. We're going to reinvent the whole thing.
Yeah.
So all four companies take the wheel, throw it away. They're going to reinvent the whole thing from the ground up. So a ton of different companies submitted their ideas, but America decided they were going to go with 4 of them for testing. And those 4 were AAI, Steyr, Heckler & Koch, and
AYYKAYY.
All right, starting off with AAI and Steyr, they both had pretty much the same idea. They weren't going to shoot bullets at the enemy anymore. They were going to shoot flechettes at the enemy, which if you don't know, is just a big metal dart. They literally created the Needler from the Halo video game.
It's my favorite Covenant weapon.
And their logic behind doing that was that these flechettes were going to be more accurate because they were hauling ass out of the barrels of these guns, okay? To put it into perspective, the muzzle velocity of a 5.56 round is like 3,000 feet per second-ish. An AK-47 7.62x39 ammunition is going like 2,200 feet per second. These flechettes were leaving the barrel at 4,900 feet per second. This thing's basically shooting fucking laser beams out of it. And this essentially meant that the shooter wasn't going to have to compensate for bullet drop, in theory increasing its accuracy. So that was the general idea of what they both kind of built their gun around, and pretty much where the similarities end, because the Steyr decided they were going to put their flechette inside of a polymer cased ammunition. The polymer cased rounds weighed like half as much as a brass cased round, so that's good because you could carry more ammunition, more accuracy by volume. That's what America's all about. They're gonna love it, in theory. The issue they ran into, though, is that when you fire a bullet, it's basically a small controlled explosion, and when you do that inside of a piece of brass, that brass absorbs a lot of heat and then immediately gets ejected out of a gun. But when you do it with a polymer casing, the polymer does not absorb nearly as much heat before it gets ejected, meaning that all that heat goes right back into the gun, you know, like the barrel. This meant that the barrels, A, wore out way quicker, and B, if you fired too much and the barrel got too hot, and then you shoved your polymer-cased ammunition into the chamber, it would just cook off and the round would explode in your face. So, the Steyr gun is out. AAI, on the other hand, decided that they were going to put their flechette inside of a 5.56 brass casing, and it worked way better. The barrels lasted longer, the rounds weren't going to cook off. It seemingly fixed the issue that Steyr had. But like I said, they stuck the flechette inside of a 5.56 round, which, if you don't know, is the same size as the M16 round, meaning that in theory you could stick these flechettes inside of an M16, and you could stick regular 5.56 ammunition inside of this new AAI rifle, but the AAI rifle wasn't equipped to handle it, and as soon as you tried to fire a regular 5.56 round, it would more than likely blow up in your face.
Oh, goddamn it.
So AAI is out. They broke the cardinal rule of engineering, okay? If it's not supposed to go there, make sure it doesn't fit there. Because if it fits there, a bunch of military dudes are absolutely
There's going to be some dumbass
once,
that tries
twice
it.
if they like it, just to see what happens. Okay, and I realize that the vast majority of my audience is probably male, but for the small female minority, if you don't believe me on this, let's conduct an experiment. Pull your phone out, hit record, post it to the internet later because I want to see. But walk into a room where any man in your life is just sitting down watching TV. It could be your dad, your husband, your boyfriend, your dude that's a friend, any grown-ass man, and just ask him out of left field, like, hey, do circular saw blades fit on your weed whacker? He is immediately going to look at you and go, nope, and go back to watching TV, because he knows with absolute certainty they don't, because he fucking tried. I promise.
We don't have weed whackers in the way that you do. Just an FYI, you don't plant grass on a mountainous region. It's just stupid, just saying. We never needed a weed whacker. But yeah, I can get the gist of what he's trying to say. Let's keep going.
I promise you, 6 months ago, there was a baby tree that the weed whacker couldn't take out, and the tree was talking shit. He had to address the situation, and that was a solution that he tried first. Every dude does it. Moral of the story, if it fits there, it goes there. If you don't want it to go there, don't let it fit.
Don't make it fit.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the magnetic accelerator gun from the Demolition Man movie.
Yes, HNK G11.
So what, it needs batteries? What size? I mean, where the fuck do you find batteries?
That is actually the G11, and it is manufactured by Heckler and Koch, which if you don't know is a German company, and the G11 actually fires a caseless ammunition. That red block is actually the propellant, or the black powder itself, so that entire thing gets burned up, and there's nothing that actually ejects out of the gun. Yet somehow, the Germans figured out how to solve the heating issue that the polymer-cased ammunition had.
Leave it to the Germans, man.
A casing at all.
Not everything, but some things you can.
Nickname of Kraut Space Magic. And while that caseless ammunition is super cool, it's not actually going to make it more accurate than the M16. So their strategy for that was to make this gun shoot at 2,100 rounds per minute in 3-round burst. That meant that the gun was so fast in 3-round burst mode that when you pulled the trigger, it would fire all 3 rounds before the person shooting the gun actually felt the recoil from the first bullet. And that worked out great, but after that 3rd round left the barrel, it kicked you like a horse. Which is a really interesting concept, and it did appear to work, so why on earth didn't America pick the G11? Well, first of all, the caseless ammunition was going to be really expensive, and secondly, this thing was designed by Germans left unsupervised with no budget. So obviously this gun is way over-engineered. Yeah, they tried to hide it by the fact that they made the outside of the gun look like it's made out of 4 pixels, but on the inside, when you go to take it apart, a fucking grandfather clock slides out of it. I mean, yeah, is the gun reliable? According to the testing, yeah, it was super reliable, but everything mechanical will fail eventually, and when that thing fails, you're going to have to take it to a watchmaker that's got a degree in modern art to even begin to attempt to...
True, that looks like a Swiss goddamn watch. Look at this. It's just so intricate. You need a weapon that can take a beating. I get that. It looks cool. Yet too many parts usually means not being able to repair it in the field or where you actually might need it. Let's keep going.
Fix the problem. So for those reasons, the G11 is also out, which is unfortunate because it really would have tied together the Minecraft look that the American military had going on there with Digicam. And now we get to my personal favorite, because the sheer amount of balls it took to try to pull this off is unfathomable. Colt's entry.
The Colt weapon has evolved from the M16A2 design.
Yeah, that is straight up an M16. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. You gotta realize Colt has been selling guns to the US military for a very long time. They sold them the Colt 1911. They sold them most of the M16s they had at this point in time.
They know their
how
audience.
to sell to the US government. They know their audience. So they walked into the lab and they're like, here's the plan. We're not going to do a fucking thing. We're going to make a big, ugly foregrip, slap it on there. We're going to say it helps with target acquisition. Then we're going to slap a scope on top that actually makes it more accurate. And then we're going to design a new type of bullet where 2 bullets go in 1 casing, and it's going to be called a duplex round. Yeah, Colt is walking in to pitch this new gun to Uncle Sam like...
No new gun, new bullets.
Does that look right to you?
This entire plan is so stupid, it's genius. They're gonna walk into this meeting trying to pitch this gun to Uncle Sam, and they're like, here's the deal, all your guys already know how to shoot this gun. It's the same shit we've already sold you before.
Yeah, no need for training.
Every time you hit the enemy, it's worth double XP. Guess what? Every magazine your guys are carrying's got 60 bullets in it, not 30. You ever heard of semi-automatic? This is dose automatic. 3-round burst just became 6-round burst.
Yeah.
It's still got full auto, but now it's on 2x speed. So at this point, it's looking like Colt's gonna win the bid, and America's gonna be shooting bogos at every bad guy for the next 50 years. And then the one dude that all these weapons manufacturers didn't give a big Christmas bonus to is like, hey, if the only thing making that gun more accurate is the scope, and all these other guns also have scopes, why don't we try putting one of those scopes on the regular M16 and just see what happens?
Yeah. Am I a joke to you?
The way that you are. Every time I try to do something fun, you make it not that way.
So that's exactly what they do. The scopes on the G11 and the Steyr are fixed in place and can't be removed, but the scope that's on the Colt and the AAI both can be, so they pop those off, throw them on a regular M16, and holy shit, it's more accurate than all of the other guns. So that's exactly what America does with. The scope that's on the Colt ends up being the M134 scope that goes on pretty much every 240 and SAW to this day, and the scope that was on the AAI ends up being the AYYKAYY. So this is great news because now America just has to buy a bunch of scopes and they don't have to buy a bunch of new guns as well. And now they're only out the money that it took for all the research of developing 4 new guns completely from the ground up, which is like, you know, $300 million to figure out that if you put a scope on a gun, it gets more accurate. You know, I started this video with every intention of doing the XM29 project next, and then the Army's new rifle, the XM7 after that, but I honestly don't know if I have it in me after this one. I need a beer.
Honestly, understandable, but still, in the XM series, XM8 has been one of my favorites again, just based on how they look. They make good-looking guns. I wouldn't have them for shooting purposes, but for novelty, they definitely are worth it, in my opinion. Again, I am biased because games, but still. And also the fact that we usually don't get like Western weapons. We usually get the Warsaw Pact stuff, like the MGs, like the AKs, and stuff like that. So yeah.
I guess, in conclusion, This is a story of how America ended up getting ACOGs and M134 machine gun optics because the US military decided they were going to spend $300 million to come to the conclusion that sticking a scope on top of a rifle does in fact make it more accurate. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com.
Make sure to support them, guys.
Out.
That was a good video.
You know, I think the part that upsets me the most about all of this is we spent $300 million on this dumb shit, and it's been like 40 years, and I still can't find an ACOG for less than like $1,000.
Yeah, that was a fun video. For anyone else that stuck around till the last second of the video, thank you all for watching as well. Again, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share everything to the Fat Electrician, the original creator of this video. And if you like this one, maybe do the same for me. And again, thank you Black Label for recommending this video to me. See you all next week. Bye.